Yeah. Are we duly announced? Yeah. Thank you. Well, then let us begin. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm Wendee Lee.
It is.
I'm the one and only.
I'm Quinton, Flynn. Well, thank you very much. We'll get some ramen later.
And I'm the internet.
So this is our time with you, the wonderful fans that we've come all the way from California coast to come see. And we'll take your questions. We can talk a little about ourselves. This is your panel, so whatever you'd like us to cover. Should we maybe do an overview or something?
Do you have any questions? Or talk about ourselves and then leave it open to you.
Well, when I was a kid, my parents bought Austin Powers on VHS, and I never knew that one of my favorite voice actors was one of the Fenbots.
Guilty as charged. I was a fembot, and I was also the narrated voice during the scene with Austin coming out of deep freeze.
Warm liquid goo phase now beginning. Evacuation
as he tries to evacuate his bladder.
Evacuation oh no, there's one. Evacuation complete.
No, he's not.
Evacuation complete. Mr. Pounds.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, give it up. Yeah, it's awesome, yeah. I actually got to play Austin Powers in an on-camera commercial. They had suits, they had a car, a couple of girls. It was awesome. Oh, behave, baby. Yeah. You're so randy. You're so cheeky. Cincinnati. I love it, baby. Oh, yeah. Good, baby. Very good.
So as you can see, we are West Coast actors. We live in Los Angeles, work in Hollywood, and work with all the other wonderful LA-based people. Quinton and I worked together on Bleach, and we've been on the scene for a while, right? We both have other work that entails things other than anime, but of course we're here to answer your questions about this wonderful medium that we love, anime and games. So I wonder if we'll need a microphone when people ask questions, but we're happy to take your questions. Want to start with that? Anyone have one?
Okay, was there ever a role that you or Quinton auditioned for but never got?
Well, sure. Lots of them.
I'd like to hear this.
I mean, 5 days a week, usually, I'll be auditioning for commercials. And so, you know, plenty of actors don't get lots of jobs. You know, I'm trying to think, and, you know, they come and they go. Are you thinking like of a particular one? Like, is there a job you auditioned for that you really wanted that you didn't get?
Be it in video games or anime.
You know, it's an interesting thing as an actor. For your own sanity, you get very psyched up for each role. You go in, you read, you do your best, you jump through hoops. Can I try it again? Let me try it this way. Let me adjust the voice. A little younger, a little more energy, whatever you do to put your best foot forward. And then really, we have to be self-disciplined to sort of let it go after the audition. There's a period of time that you hold on to it and you hold out hope, but after a week or maybe two has passed, I think you start to go, I really wanted that, okay. Doesn't look like it's happening. If you run into the same people, you may say, hey, whatever happened on that job? Have you guys cast it yet? And once in a while you'll be like, oh, damn, so-and-so got it, I missed it. But really, there's a psychological discipline that you have to incorporate for your own sanity. So you don't feel constantly rejected and disappointed and you don't have a lot of heartache. And that's something that I find it's very interesting with people that get into voicing that are not actually actors. If you start off as an actor and you've pounded the pavement and you've had a lot of experience of playing the odds of the numbers game with auditions. You do a lot of auditions and maybe you book, 10% of them, or actually the ratio may be lower. It's a numbers game in that way. But people that don't understand that the life of an actor is continually facing rejection, then they have a harder time with it. But I think the pros, the vets, really know not to hold on to it and just you got to go with it. You can't have too many regrets.
That's true. Well, it's also interesting because you don't know what's going to go as far as the show. I remember auditioning one time for this animated character for a new show that was coming out, and this character was called SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh.
Yeah. So you imagine when you're looking at it on this piece of paper, the character comes to you and it says SpongeBob SquarePants, and it's a sponge. It's a square sponge with legs, 2 eyes, and a mouth. And you look at it and you go, are you kidding me? Who's gonna make this? Who's gonna watch this? Never. It's not gonna succeed. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's do a voice. Hi, I'm SpongeBob SquarePants. And that's pretty much what a whole bunch of us did. And eventually it went and then it came on the air and it was like, oh yeah, there's that show. Then it took off like a rocket. I was like, really? Really? So who knows? You just never know. And then there's other shows, or characters you audition where you go, oh, for sure. This is amazing.
Yeah.
The writing's incredible. The characters are genius, and you never see it again. So who knows? Who knows?
I'm curious how SpongeBob actually got traction originally. If it was just the combination of the visuals and the cast. I don't even know if it was the right cast. I know that the actors who work on the show feel very fortunate.
Oh yeah.
They didn't expect it to go either. So. And then there's the series I had for Cartoon Network, Megas XLR. Thank you. And we didn't get a third season, and we were heartbroken. And at the time they said, mech shows just aren't in. And then a year later, we have how many new mech shows, big robots. So it's hard to know which are going to really gain traction and stick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I did a show for Nickelodeon called My Life as a Teenage Robot.
Yeah!
Where I played Sheldon. Now what time is it? It's time for me to keep being in love with Jenny. Keep worshiping her. And then create a metallic superhero named
Silver Shell. That's right. I do everything Sheldon can't. Wishes he could with Jenny.
And then, of course, in high school, there was a character, Don Prima, the prima donna. I thought Sheldon was just getting in the way of everything. Hi, Sheldon. Please. If anybody gets Jenny, it's going to be me. Anyway, I'm moving on to Cincinnati now. To see my friends, my real friends. It's okay, fuck off, everybody.
What happened with that show?
We had 3 seasons, and same thing. They just, yeah. And we were loving it. We were the same thing like you. It was so great just to be working it. And then all of a sudden gone. Like, really? Oh.
Sometimes our time slot that they use for programming will determine the success of a show. And I know they bounced Megas into many different time slots, and the audience was having a hard time keeping up with when it was airing. So sometimes we can have a great show, but not a lot of people get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
That's hard.
You, with blue shirt.
Yes, this is for Quinton. I understand that you're Silver the Hedgehog in Sonic Freeriders. Do you have any idea why Sega decided to change the cast, and how'd you get that role?
Well, I've heard that too. I don't know. And I don't know. I really don't know.
What do you think of that show?
Oh, it's a video.
What's his name?
Oh, it's a game. It's a game.
Yeah. You know, it's a mystery because there was a video game called Marvel's Ultimate Alliance in which I got to play the Amazing Spider-Man. And, thank you. That was a boyhood dream. And after that, I just assumed, well, I'll play Spider-Man in the next game. But no, they went with somebody else. And I never found out why. So kind of the same thing with this. There's different producers come in, different writers, and they will audition new people. And sometimes they'll even audition the same actor who already has the role for that role again. But I've not heard an answer as to why.
I sure would love to hear a little sample of Spider-Man.
Spidey, let's see. What would he sound like? My spider sense is tingling. Mary Jane! Mary Jane, are you okay? Just hanging out with the girls again, huh? All right. Well, I guess I'll just go back to my lab and work on my nettishy things. That's what I do. Because I'm Spider-Man, and I'm cool. Thank you. How about you with the glasses? Yeah.
Okay, so,
thank you.
Stephen, do you think I need
It's nice to have a mic, yeah.
Okay, well, Stephen's supposed to give me a mic, that's a mistake. I know I've gone to many conventions and voice actors always talk about how they're alone. You're alone a lot of the time, not hearing the other voices, and you have to go in and give the energy and the ambience of the character yourself, and you kind of have to put the character's passion into it. So as far as confident, sexy, full of himself characters, what character for each one of you is you ever just walk in and you had to just be over the top, head held high, confident and cocky?
So many of them, yeah.
The most.
You know, that to play that strong place and to just, I feel like Yoruichi is very much there, certainly Fei-Fei, but to take a place of power is empowering. So it doesn't feel, for me, as challenging as going in and like, you know, playing, "Go soul, she's like so big and I'm jumping up the walls." You know, it's like, that's a challenge, you know? It's walking in and just the commanding is, you know, it's like, it feels, you know, so good to just be so solid in a character.
Yeah. What was the question?
What character did you feel the most cocky playing? Like you had to be cocky and confident to get their attitude across. Like the most cocky.
Like, what does it take to get to that place?
No, which character for you?
What's challenging?
Oh. What's challenging about it?
No, but like what character, what role have you done?
Oh, that's like that?
That had to be the most like that, yeah.
That's not a good question. I don't know if they've even allowed me to do it. I mean, Reno was kind of like that, but he was, you know, he was comedic in a cocksure way. Then there was Raiden in Metal Gear Solid 4, but he was, you know, he was very dark and down here, so he could be intense, but there was no big bravado. I don't know, I mean, the closest thing I had might have been like this character I did on a show called Zatch Bell, named Dr. Riddles! And Dr. Riddles was over the top and charismatic. He didn't care whether you liked him or not. He would say whatever he wanted to say. And he would riddle Kiddo with riddles. And he would tell Kiddo that he got the riddles correct. When Kiddo would say, "Really?" Dr. Riddles would say, "No. Kidding!" So, that was it for me.
I'd say also Adept in King Gainer. She was, you know, like so militant. And, well, Fee in Planetus was just strong, like could hold her own with the boys. A lot of women are now play very strong, as we know, especially in video games. And they're right up there holding their own with the men. It's great.